Hello, this is Dean Radin, and I'm on Your Superior Self.
Hi, I'm Anita Murjani, and this is Your Superior Self.
Hello, this is Dr. Raymond Moody, and this is Your Superior Self.
Hi, Cultural Creatives. I'm Bruce Lipton, and I'm here to join you with Your Superior Self.
This is Paul Selig, and this is Your Superior Self.
What's up, everybody? I'm Aubrey Marcus, and this is Your Superior Self.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Superior Sunday. I think I'm going to do these things maybe not every week, but every other week or third week. I don't know. Maybe even like once a month. I don't know. But it seems to be pretty hectic. School's back in session. Not only for me, but for my kids and my wife as well. So it seems like every week we're packed with school assignments or deadlines, lunches, and those darn lunches. Like they keep popping back up, and it's like, I don't know how many more times my kids can eat peanut butter and jellies, but yeah, life's pretty active right now for us, and I love doing these because it allows me to like connect with you as the audience and kind of give you some insight into my life about what really is going on, and just kind of a different viewpoint as opposed to like the traditional interview format that I've been holding for the last 4 years now. So I think it's important. It helps me as a speaker too to kind of not go on so many rants, maybe kind of stick to an idea and kind of stay to that and structure around I don't know, because like as I dive into a rant, I want to get better at speaking. I want to get better at throwing a point or a thought out there, and then just kind of speaking to that and bringing about different ideas or concepts that are related to that. And I think this helps me in a way structure that a little bit better. But it's also like the one thing that's really fascinating to me is like just when I've listened to so many different episodes of Dolores Cannon's Metaphysical Hour, and some of my favorite episodes have just been random like conversations with her and Julia, not necessarily an episode where she has a guest on. I mean, they're good too, but I really like hearing her stories about her travels and like where she's been and what she's been doing and the process it looks like for her in writing her books and the people that she's meeting. And it just seems so interesting. So I was like, you know what, why not? Why can't I do that, right? I mean, it's kind of similar work. However, I'm not writing as many books or a book in that matter on metaphysics, but maybe one day I'll write about my philosophies and my concepts of what I think this universe is and what we truly are. But as I progress and as I evolve as human consciousness, as spirits, as the innate greatness that I believe us to be, a lot of things are being brought into my life now that resonate with me, and I'm attracting some fabulous people that are doing some amazing things, phenomenal things, and it's a fun time. It really is for me. And the old paradigm is slowly falling away. And I know that makes people uncomfortable. And it's like, man, they just don't know how to, like, I don't know. I could see how some of the people that have been in my life kind of get a little uncomfortable when I start talking about things like that, because it goes against their paradigm or that goes against their reality. Which, look, I'm just here to explore my consciousness, create my reality, set an intention, and just follow that. And it has nothing to do with anybody else, really. It's just they feel uncomfortable because, some of the concepts that I talk about, some of the topics are not traditional topics. Past life regressions, channeling, consciousness studies, remote healing, remote viewing, all of these things can be a little, I guess, triggering for some people, especially if they've grown up in a really established dogma or religion, like a lot of us have. I think basically, I think I was talking to Neil Donald Walsh not too long ago, and he was talking about a study that had been recently been done, maybe not even recently. I don't know. I haven't even seen the study, so I'm just taking his word for it. But there has been a study or a survey that was sent out into the entire world that like 80% of most people, I guess 80% of most people, 80% of the world's population believes in a higher power, right? So we've all been brought up in some type of programming around that concept. And, my whole mission has been to find my truth or find the truth. Like, is there one truth? And the more that I research that, the more that I just kind of dive into my being, is that, the more I'm finding that there isn't just one truth. There's a multitude of truths. There's millions of truths. And the only truth that there is the truth that you think there is, which is pretty fascinating. I mean, we all create a reality, right? We all create a reality, not just like with our consciousness and being aware, but by the decisions that we make. Blair Styra, who channels an entity called, oh my goodness, why am I blanking on his name right now? Anyway, it will come to me in a minute. Sorry, Blair, if you're listening. He channels this concept, right? He talks to people about this and how we make our decisions. We create our life through our decisions. I mean, every yes and every no. That's been such an awakening for me. Tabash, I'm sorry, I had to Google that real quick because I don't know why. I mean, I've been listening to his content for a while now, probably longer than a month. But Tabash talks about how, we create a reality by our decisions and our choices. And like every yes and every no and every maybe and every non-decision has basically formulated this reality that you conceive of right now, that you are perceiving. And I agree with that. And it's freeing in a sense because it's, it gets rid of that mentality that the universe is against you and that, hey, guess what? You got the bad hand, man, and, it was freeing for me in a sense. It was really freeing because it was like, you know what? I have created this reality, but I've unconsciously created this reality for myself. Like, so I was unaware of the decisions, not really the decisions that I was making. I was making the decisions consciously in that moment, but unaware to the fact that, hey, you've created this reality. You're exactly where you're at because of the decisions that you made. So now think about how freeing that is in the sense, like now you have a true decision. And how is it that you're going to change your reality? How are you going to change it to make it to what you want it to be, right? Like, and then again, there's a lot of philosophy on attachment, being detached from the result, and everyone's still evolving in that sense. But Blair has been, man, his content is really, really good, and I highly suggest you check him out. I think I've watched everything on YouTube that there is on him. But again, I found him through Dolores Cannon, her Metaphysical Hour radio show, which is, man, it has so much like great content. Like I can't say enough good things about it. And some of the people that I found through that, I've researched a little bit and, extended, to come on my show, essentially. I know she's done a lot with like ETs and UFO studies and a lot of UFO investigations and the literature that has evolved some of the theories that they're out there now. I mean, ETs and UFOs, like I'm not so much into that. Like maybe just this where I'm at right now. I just, I don't know. Maybe I will one day, right? I'm open-minded to it, and but I'm more fascinated with our own consciousness, like my own conscious awareness into what I can, investigate further with that, and what I can possibly do within this innate, greatness, right? Like there is an innate greatness inside of us, and I want to tap into that. And, I'm doing that more and feeling that more, and I can definitely notice a change. Like I said, you start bringing things into your life, for sure. Like different people, like Blair, attracted him, and then we had a conversation like yesterday, and it was just, it was like I was talking to an old friend. I can't describe it any other way. And as I say that, a butterfly just comes past my window. beautiful orange one, right? Like, and that's another thing too. You ever think about that? Like, as a butterfly, right? It's a caterpillar. It's a totally different form, and it goes into a cocoon, right? It it crawls around on its stomach, finds a place to get into this shell, this cocoon, and then it cracks out of that, and now it's flying. Like, just think about that in relation to your life, like where you're at now. Like, you could be crawling in life right now, just getting by, like just kind of like, oh, whatever, man, I don't know what's going on. Maybe down and out, but now is the time for like your chrysalis, right? Like your time to get into that cocoon and really go deep. And as I'm speaking these words, I'm like thinking about that in relation to my life. Like, now is this awakening period where it's where you got to go into the cocoon. You got to go into that place, that inside space that we develop and we evolve as consciousness. And that through meditation, that is my cocoon. It's like going in there and like growing that God part of ourselves that is connected to everything, and feeling that and being more aware of that in my conscious decision making in everyday situations. And then the goal, right, is to become the butterfly. But we always doubt it. Our human nature is to doubt it based on our past experiences. I can't say what my future looks like because of my perspective here in the present moment. And if my past doesn't align with what my future intention is, then we kind of doubt ourselves that we can even produce such results. But when you're in that cocoon, like, you just go into the darkness of this thing, this shell, and you figure it out. These caterpillars are biologically wired to evolve as butterflies. And what if we're biologically wired to tap into greatness? Like, what if we have it in the most smallest part of our cells to tap into this consciousness that surrounds us and evolve into beings, conscious awareness beings that are of a higher vibration, that are more in tune with that greatness of God, and being able to manifest more, I wouldn't say satisfying, but more joy, more I don't even know what the word is, more joy, more bliss, more flow in our lives. Like, that's just something to think about. Like, and I think that we can. It just takes some work to kind of bypass a lot of those paradigms that we have, some of those programming that we have that reflects that we cannot do those things. And we believe that because we take the idea and concepts of society to heart. We hold that really close to us in our beliefs, in our systems, and everything in our teachings. And it goes from, look at the schools, look at the churches, look at the governments. All of it is based on our old paradigm. And I think there's a shift going on. I think there's a new paradigm being built brick by brick, but it's out in the margins. It's out, it's right here, right now, listening to this, getting a new perspective, having an open mind to new ideas, and like willing to go inward and do the inner work. I think that's how we change the paradigm. And science is doing that as well with quantum physics. I'm not going to act like I know what quantum physics, like I'm not going to school for quantum physics. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to school for psychology. But if you see like a paradigm shift that starts with mathematics or quantum physics, there has to be a reaction to that in other areas of study, like psychology. It definitely, if mathematics, which is the base of education and what we basically form our education systems around, then yeah, psychology has to change, and epigenetics is a big part of that. Bruce Lipton has talked about it time and time again, and I think there will be a shift in consciousness, related to that paradigm shift. It's just going to take a while, just like everything in this world. Things take time. I don't have to tell you that. You can obviously see it in the world, just with the structures and the systems we have in place now. It takes forever for things to happen. And I think our evolution as consciousness is the same thing. If you you do like past life regressions, like you hear about people living hundreds and hundreds of lives. I know it's like a slow evolution of sorts. I mean, look at us as human species. Look how long it's taken for us to get to this point. So, I mean, there is hope, right? There is hope that we can make a change. And I think that change starts within us. And I'm excited about that, right? The more that I tap into this space, the more that I tap into this godliness, this God space that I call it, the all that there is, I get more insight into my truth, right? And I kind of bucket a little bit. Like I definitely think to myself sometimes, like, is this accurate? Is this true? Like, I don't want to believe it because like I'm receiving messages that isn't necessarily like what I want to hear. And, I got to stay open to that and just kind of, we'll see, that kind of mindset. But yeah, this has been fun. This has been a great little chat, I want to say. But I'm excited more to have some of the people that are coming on the show are going to be fabulous, right? And I don't usually use that word fabulous, but I don't know how else to describe it. More or less, like, I'm excited because they've been such great influences on like my perception of what we are. Like Blair, he's hopefully he's coming on in November. I mean, he's booked solid until that time. I just had Paul Williams, who's a level 2 practitioner for QHHT on the show. That was a powerful conversation, which I really, truly enjoyed. I'm trying to think who else. I have Dolores Cannon's daughter, Julia, coming on the show. We have yet to record that, but I'm thinking like December, having like just a dedicated month to QHHT practitioners that have come on the show and just releasing nothing but that, so that you guys can kind of listen to them in like a bulk time frame, and then get a clearer idea of like what the modality is and what it involves, and like some of the cool stories that are surrounding that. But thanks for hanging out. This has been really fun. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I hope you guys have a great Sunday and a lovely rest of the week. I'll talk to you guys later.